the secrets of different bills. Hey, Uncle Demi, you need it, I got it listed here. You wanna make it, I'll show you just how to make it here. I got all the rarest bills, and I ain't done yet. Went from the finish to making bills like a prospect. Flow space and slashes to catching us with a lot of threat. You keep the medals cause the right one's coming up next. Only scratch the surface, still they try to drag my name in dirt. They try to bring me down, see me winning, you ain't like me then.
Yo, what's good, my nephews and nieces? It's your favorite uncle, Uncle Demi, and today I have another special banger for you, all right? Now, today we got something truly special. First, I want to shout out my man Juice Man for actually giving me this build, allowing me to give this rare build to you. So again, shout out to Juice for doing that. The link to his actual video and his channel will be in the description, so go by and show him some love. But other than that, I want to ask every single one of y'all, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to your favorite unk, your favorite old head. We gotta go crazy this year. This is the third rare build video we got. And again, it's going to be post commentary because this is content from our community day. But without further ado, let's hop right into this video. Now, this is a face-up Playmaker, an extremely rare build. I don't know if it's gonna be rare because it's kind of hard to call something rare before the game even comes out. So it might be a meta build, who knows? But regardless, to us coming from 2K22, it's a rare build. You wanna go power forward with this. It doesn't matter if you're right or left-handed, and of course, jersey number doesn't matter either. Now with the height, you wanna go 6'9". You wanna get your weight down to 210 pounds, and the wingspan, you wanna go 7'4". As you can see, the ball handle is going to be an 87. You get an 86 3 ball. You still get a 97 driving dunk potentially. Now, obviously, we're not going to hit all this, but I think these are pretty dope. And you get an 81 speed with ball. Okay, now we're going to fast forward to the finished product here. As you see, he has a 75 close shot, 80 driving layup, 80 driving dunk with a 67 standing dunk. Now, as you see the badges he has here, the only thing you really get on Hall of Fame will be Pro Touch and the Giant Slayer, and that 6'9" Giant Slayer is not really going to be it. So again, we talked about when you don't specialize in something and you're going to have a low tier of badge points, right? And of course, now you do know from tier 1 and tier 2, 10 of those 14 points will be there. So all the good badges on tier 3, you're not even going to be able to get because, or if you're going to get it, it's going to be a low number. So that's something to keep in mind. But again, you still get quick drops. You're going to get front clutches because that 80 tier is very important for your layups and dunks. Even though you get contact dunks, this is still actually going to be pretty solid. Now, the shooting is actually really good because you get 25 badge points. You see a ton of Hall of Fame badges, 87 mid-range, 86 3-ball, and an 80 free throw. So this build can definitely play in the record of Pro-Am. Now, a lot of the badges here, again, if this build is going to be a spot-up build, this build is going to be godly. Now, if you want to be a kind of a primary ball handler, or maybe I think you're probably better off being a secondary ball handler with this build, you're going to be really decent also because you still get some really good badges of blinders on Hall of Fame. But as you see, you'll get Deadeye, Limits Range, those on silver. The cool thing is that Agent 3 is actually a tier 2 badge because it's a power forward. You get on silver, maybe fading on a big build like this might be good. So that's something to take in consideration also with the corner specialist, also as a tier 2. So again, that what makes this build kind of glitchy because even though this build can play as a guard, the way the builder is looking at this build, the builder is looking at this build as a spot up. So now those moving guard builds are tier 1, tier 2. So that's something to keep in mind because Space Creator on Hall of Fame is actually pretty deadly on a build like this that actually can dribble. Mini Magician is also going to be pretty strong here too. Now we're looking at the playmaking. You do get 20 badge points on this. And once again, when you look at this, the tier 3 badges are going to look really good. Handles for days on silver, talking to a lot of guards. A lot of them are saying like, hey, you can get away with handles or days on silver if you're just not being hungry on that R2. So a lot of, now these are really good players, competitive type comp players. So again, as a casual player, maybe you want to try to go gold with that, okay? But at the same time, this 20 is actually not that bad. You got Hall of Fame ankle breaker, which is going to be really dope. In your tier 2 category, of course, the quick first step, vice grip probably on bronze. And then of course on the tier 3, clamp breaker is killer combos, unpluckable, and handles for days. All 4 of them you probably will want. But again, you got to utilize 10 of that 20 in tier 1 and tier 2. So you only have 10 badges left on that tier 3, and we'll talk about that in a second. Now when we look at the defensive side, you have 16 badge points to work with. Again, 10 of that 16 has to be utilized in tier 1, tier 2. All of the tier 3 badges, I'm thinking rebound chaser will be a good one to go with, but we'll talk about that in a second when we get there. But for all in all, this is what you kind of expect. You're not going to have a lot of defensive badges, but the ones that you really like, defensive rebound, block, your perimeter defense, and your tiering defense, all those are pretty above average. So this build theoretically could probably play a little bit of the center spot. I mean, obviously going against a real pure defensive type center might be an issue, but for again, this build does a little bit of everything, and we spoke about that already. A little bit of everything can be kind of scary, right? Because you're not going to have a lot of badges. You have decent attributes, but if you're not going to have a lot of badges and decent attributes, you better be really, really good at the game. All right, so that's something to keep in mind. All right. Now, when it comes to the actual takeovers, he went with extreme clamps and limitless range threes, but as you see, you get shot creator, you get sharp take, you get playmaking takeover, and then you also get lock take. So I think all that's pretty dope, but actually you see here he's actually adjusting. He's going to ankle breaking shots and limitless range threes, which is, once again, that's actually still pretty good choices too, but you get a lot of choices there, so that's pretty dope. And then here you have it, my nephews and nieces. You got shades of Rashard Lewis, Kendall Johnson, and of course Scotty Barnes, and then you have right there face up Playmaker, man. So really, really good build. Again, is it going to be rare or is it going to be a meta build? I don't know. And again, you know, when I get into the builder, I'm gonna try to make a better version of this. You know how it is. So I might drop a revisited version of this build if I see fit that, yo, you know what, you can actually make this build just a little bit better once I get my hands on this game. Okay, now when we look at the finishing badges, he ended up using limitless takeoff as his core badge. So of course, you know, that helped him a lot. But then he ended up going with the aerial wizard to catch lobs. So again, he has masher on silver to work down low, slithery finisher, and he had a couple bronze badges to top it off. But again, like I said, this is where you're starting to see when you have a balanced build and not a specialized build, you're not going to have a lot of badges to go with it. Now on the shooting side of things, he actually was able to get a lot more, but you can see he went catch and shoot on gold, so obviously he was looking at making this build more of a spot up, I'm guessing. But he has guard up, which I think on Hall of Fame, which I think is a good badge, corner specialist, limitless range, and deadeye, and then of course he has midi magician and space creator. So he has some really, really good badges with this build. Keep in mind his build is 6'9", so this part of the build of the builder, of this build's game is going to be focused on the offensive side. It's going to be shooting. Now when we look at the playmaking side, this is again pretty scary, right? Because you get clamp breaker on gold, killer combos on silver. He doesn't have unpluckable or handles for days though. That's something to keep in mind. But quick first step, he has that on gold. He has vice grip on bronze, which I think is going to be important for everybody to have. And he has ankle breaker Hall of Fame. So again, I don't know how I would operate with this. Maybe I would probably want to get handles for days at least. So maybe I would probably take away clamp breaker, put that on gold, or maybe take killer combos and put handles for days on silver. So I might just switch those two. But again, this build is going to be really good with the dribbling, but the bread and butter will definitely be when it comes to the shooting. Last but not least, you have the defensive side. He went with rebound chaser, which is 5 points. This is tier 3 as his core badge, which makes sense because you saved 5 points there. And then you have challenger on silver, which is dope because that's a perimeter type build. So maybe, you know, he's thinking like, yo, this is something that will be good on the perimeter. Clamps on bronze, chase down on bronze. That's good for the animations. And then of course the tier 1s, you just have no choice but to kind of fill it in. Ankle breakers is a good one, but menace is also good too. We don't know how that badge works, and of course you have gloves. So all in all, I like this build. It's going to require a really special player to have this because the badges are minimal. So again, if you're a casual player, you probably want to specialize in something. But if you feel like you're a good player and you have some really good teammates with you, you might be able to pull this build off. Well, there you have it, my nephews and nieces. This is the Face Up Playmaker build. Once again, shout out to my man Juice for allowing me to use it. But again, this is a really, really good build that's going to require a special type player to utilize it. I would definitely revisit it and see if I can make a better version of that. But as usual, this is your favorite old head, Uncle Demi. I'll be back really, really soon on the banger, man. And you know, when I say back soon on the banger, you know exactly what day I'm talking about. I'm talking about tomorrow, man. I'm out.